introduction needed, of course, from the Red Hot Chili Peppers, but we really just love you as a super Lakers fan, Flea, and we're glad you're back on the show. I know you weren't at the game last night. You've been a witness there in person of so many giant Lakers moments. Obviously, last night, night one of a new season, but really the father-son moment. What were your thoughts? And you're like a new dad, so I feel like you might have more sentimentality here.
Yeah, well, I'm an old dad.
A new old dad.
I have a 36-year-old, an 18-year-old, and a nearly 2-year-old.
God bless you.
I just have to say real quick, Lou, it's so nice to meet you. I'm such a huge fan of your game. It's just so beautiful. And when you were on the Lakers, I was really happy about it. And when you weren't on the Lakers, I was like, this is a momentous fuck up. It's so sad to see you go. And honestly, I really treasured every moment that you were a Laker. It was so exciting. And I just got to say that because it was beautiful.
Thank you, man. It's an honor. I appreciate that compliment. Thank you.
Thank you. You're welcome. But yeah, so last night, I've been of probably like many people of mixed minds with Bronny and LeBron. I mean, as a father myself, I could only imagine like if my kid was in my band with me. But, to play with your kid like that and to be the first father and son to do it in history, it's beautiful. And it was actually like kind of moving when he came out. I really felt chills and it was great. I don't know, if Bronny is really ready yet for serious NBA minutes. And I questioned that from the beginning, but it was just beautiful to see. And I loved it. And what was really beautiful to see too was a fire in Anthony Davis that I hadn't really seen in a while. He was lit. Anthony Davis was playing with an intensity last night that was just great to see. It made me so happy. And it seemed like they were all really playing together like they liked playing with JJ Redick as their coach. And I always feel like, and, you guys correct me if I'm wrong, but, X's and O's and game plans are one thing, but when a team buys into a coach, it seems like it's more important than anything. It's just everyone being on the same page. And it seemed like they were on the same page. They came out with a defensive intensity. They got up. They did never relinquish the lead. It was a wire-to-wire win. Well, maybe the Wolves got up by a point in a minute. But it was just great to see. It was awesome.
It's funny you say about AD, Flea, because obviously the Lakers look great. Anthony Davis looked dominant. JJ Redick's first win. So all this stuff, but somehow, the Bronny James is then that history being made is going to be the storyline. Now, do you think that this was the right move to get it done early so it's less of a distraction now throughout the season? How, as your bar set really, really low for Bronny to actually be a valuable player, go to the G League? What are your thoughts on the whole thing? And is it going to be a distraction even though it's over with now? History's been made. Now can they just play basketball?
I don't think it's a distraction. I think it's really beautiful. I think it makes LeBron happy and it's going to fire him up for the season. And clearly it worked. Bronny is a good luck charm. Bring him on. I want him playing. It was awesome. I don't, what do I know? I'm just a basketball fan. I love basketball, and it was great to see them together. It was great to see their family on watching from the side. It's just nice. The family, it's beautiful. What can I say? Whether or not Bronny is ready for the NBA to play serious minutes, I don't know. How good can he get? I don't know. I know it was really nice to see. And it was also great to see Dalton Knecht come out and connect and come out and drain that three. He looked great. He looked really good. He looked like a confident rookie. I just liked it. I liked everything about last night. Because I got kind of, and like the big, all off seasons, like, oh, the Lakers aren't making any moves. They aren't making any moves. And I kind of fell to that too. Oh, they're just getting older. The same team. They went out in the first round. They're not making any moves. And then last night, it kind of struck me like they know each other. And which has become more and more rare in the NBA for teams to really know each other and to become a team, just by virtue, of knowing one another. And basketball is such a game of all this telepathic communication, all this unspoken communication, and I really felt that last night with them. Like they knew where each other was going to be on the floor. They were communicating. They know each other's personalities, their strengths and weaknesses, their neuroses, all this shit, and it made me happy. Yeah. The sky is looking clear, Lakerland.
Well, with that said, this team is getting older. Bron came out and he said, you know, playing next to Bronny, having that opportunity is giving him new life. And now he's saying that, you know, reports are saying that, you know, he may play another 2 or 3 years, and Bryce is coming up the ladder now. Do you expect LeBron play a few more years at this same high level?
It's really hard to know. I mean, look, Kareem was finals MVP when he was 43 years old. He also, you know, won, I think, 4 championships at UCLA. So it's definitely possible. And clearly he's a really disciplined man, you know, and a really smart man who knows how to manage his time and his body. So it is possible. And if he had both sons playing on the Lakers, come on, it would, you know, it's great. You know, just the fact of it hyping LeBron up and making it, I mean, it's got to be such a fulfilling, magical feeling for him. So yeah, I mean, I'm into it. I'm into it. I kind of figured this would be his final season because he's getting to play with Bronny, but Bryce is coming up and Bryce is good, you know.
Oh, you said that. Flea, you said that weird. Like he's good. Interesting. What do you mean by that?
Like he's actually.
Bryce is good. I'm not saying Bronny isn't good. I'm just saying Bryce is good too. These kids are good.
No, I know.
I mean, look.
I know, but people are looking to Bryce already. Like he's legitimately ahead of Bronny talent-wise. So yeah, I mean, he might stick around for 2-3 more years. Flea. LeBron's gonna be 50 and a Laker. You know this.
I love the guy. I love LeBron James. And look, there's nothing wrong with nepotism. It's the family business.
There you have it.
Family business. Come on. That's a beautiful thing.
I thought it was the Bus family business.
This is the James family business.
Part of the family tree.
There it is.
Yeah. I mean, you know, and then there's so many players in the NBA now whose fathers are in the NBA. And I always love to see it. And I've been watching, you know, I mean, the Lakers fanatically since 1972 when I moved to LA, and they were only on TV once a week. And I've watched, you know, everything. I've watched so closely for so long. And, you know, like when the Lakers, when we see Wesley Matthews, you know, come in, you know, his father, Wes Matthews, I used to watch him. He was Magic's backup. And I just realized that I forgot after all these months off of the season, after not drinking out of my Magic cup this morning, my lucky Magic cup that I can only drink out of after a victory. So I'm going to have to double up on the coffee this morning.
Flea, you mentioned Anthony Davis, and he's on record saying he's focused on being dominant every single game. And I think the takeaway last night, obviously the 36-16 was a great start. He didn't float. He didn't disappear at the end of the game. Is this realistic? And is this the version of Anthony Davis that obviously the Lakers need to have real championship, you know, aspirations this season?
We definitely need it. And it's definitely realistic and possible. It's, you know, I mean, personal discipline and the willingness to do it every day, even when it's painful and you're suffering and you do it anyways. A basketball season, as both you guys know, is long and serious and arduous. And no matter what, how many games you play, you're always playing through pain and exhaustion and, you know, whatever emotional turmoil comes from just being a human being and having to do it. And I can relate to that. I mean, I just did a 2.5-year long tour playing stadiums. You go out for 60,000 people. They don't care your dog died. They don't care your wife's threatening to leave you. They don't, you know what I mean? It's like, you got to go out and do your work. They don't care you're coming down with the flu. Like, get out and entertain the people and give your entire heart to the process, you know? And so it's definitely realistic. It's a challenge, you know, it's serious. We know he's capable of it. He knows he's capable of it, but he really came out with a fire last night that, you know, like one of the things I've always loved about basketball is you can really see the people playing it. And, you know, you can feel a sincerity inside, you know, and I really felt that from him last night. Like this is my legacy. This is who I am. I'm giving my heart to this. And I could really feel that last night. And they just seemed together. They seemed playing like they were playing together on both sides of the court. You know, they didn't give up, and the Wolves are good. Like I know they're adjusting to losing Cat and having Julius, you know, and it seemed like they have to work through that a little bit. But AD is definitely key. You know, he's kind of everything, and you know, I think he's completely capable of doing it, and I know that he's capable.
You know what, Flea? I'm glad you brought up Dalton Knecht, the rookie. He came off of a 35-point preseason game and then seamlessly into night one of his NBA career. Snoop Dogg already went with Westside Connect as the nickname that we should adopt. Can we do better, or do we love this?
No, I'm sticking with Snoop. That's really good. Yeah.
That's good.
I mean, I was just like the connection. I was saying all this dumb shit, you know. You know, you don't want to mess with Snoop when it comes to wordplay. He's a master.
All right, perfect. All right, he mastered it. We're done.
You know where that comes from, right? You know what West Side is, right?
Oh yeah.
I'm asking Beadle because she might
not know. Of course I don't know. Why would I know?
Oh yeah, no,
of course you
and
know. It's a legendary rap group from the West Coast. They're called West Side Connection. So that's where that comes from. And they're
better question.
They're affiliated with Snoop. Yeah.
Do you think Dalton Knecht knew that? No.
What's that?
Probably not.
Dalton Knecht certainly didn't know
There's
that.
no way.
I didn't know it. He didn't know.
You know, I'm from LA, and I love music.
Absolutely. Flea, I want to ask you, what's it like to have somebody who's considered a legendary Los Angeles Clipper as the head coach of the Los Angeles Lakers and JJ Redick? What's that like?
Yeah, no, that's a good question because I've never been a Clipper flipper. You know, even when you went to the Clippers, you know, I used to like love the Clippers when they were like the nice little brother, and you know, and like you know, the Darius Miles. My son is named Darius. You know, that team and Elton Brand and you know and Ken Norman before that and all that. Like, but I started hating the Clippers when they got good. You know, and started beating the Lakers, and I hated JJ. You know, I hated JJ. I was like, he's got ugly tattoos. You know, I hated JJ. You know, I'm like a 2-year-old when it comes to being a basketball fan. Yeah, no, it was a little weird, and it is kind of a strange thing. But you know, it's always like that with being a basketball fan with all the moving pieces. It's like every time they'll get some guy who I hated. Like, look, we got Ron Artest. I remember Ron Artest threatened Kobe. I hated him, and then when we got Ron Artest, I loved him more than anything in the world. I mean, what a dynamic, you know, beautiful guy. So it's always like that. You know, they put on the purple and gold and I love them. They could, you know, yeah. So, and JJ, man, he really had them playing well. And, you know, as a fan, you never know who has who doing what, but it just seemed to be really working. And when I was watching them when he was speaking to them, and he just seemed real clear in speaking and they seemed real clear in listening. And I just had a feeling of togetherness for the first game. That was awesome, you know? So, you know, go Lakers.
Go Lakers. I think a lot of Lakers fans thought this during the offseason. You know, you're watching all these teams make big moves, big names are changing addresses. It's going back and forth. And the Lakers sort of stayed pat. And it looked great last night, but is there a scenario in your mind of if they're going to go, and it looks like they're probably still looking out for some good big trade down the line. What would they need?
I mean, I don't know. I mean, you always need shooting. You know, the Lakers are always like that knockdown Lou Williams 3-point shooter. But
Lou could still play.
Yeah. Come on, Lou. Yeah,
okay,
I believe. I believe.
Shoot. Play, I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know, like a backup center. I know, like they really wanted, like Bron and AD were both kind of lobbying to get. I think it was Vucevic, or whoever else was available. But I don't know, man. They look pretty good. I mean, it all depends on health too. Like everyone stays healthy. Maybe Dalton Knecht is that shooter. you know, that he's got a stroke, you know, he might be that guy. I just don't know. I really don't know. I like the team right now. There's no one I want to like just get rid of to get someone else to bring someone in. Like they always
Right.
talk about D'Lo being the trade piece, you know, and he's probably the best shooter on the team. You know, when he gets going, when he gets his shot going, he was great last season. You know, he carried them in many a game with his shooting when he gets hot. So I don't know. I mean, you know, they talked about trying to get Trey Young. They talked about trying to get all these guys. I don't know. I don't know. It seems like right now you can always use a good shooter. You can always use a big man, but it seems like they are a pretty well-rounded team. They know each other really well, and like last night, it just seemed like a pretty well-constructed roster. You know, I know. What do you guys think?
Yeah, and
Oh,
and
good.
and the continuity, like we talked about in the first segment, I think that's going to help them long term. That a lot of these other teams have to make adjustments. They have to get used to each other. The chemistry, the Lakers and the Celtics on the other side,
Hmm.
they have that, and obviously the expectations, especially for the Lakers, always are championship, and they have 17 NBA titles. Do you have a favorite of their championships?
Oh man, you know,
Oof.
I mean the three-peat, you know, well when you know with Kareem and Magic, when they beat the Celtics, that
Mm.
really, you know, that really felt good. The last one that the Lakers got, you know, when they beat the Celtics and Kobe getting his fifth ring, Derek Fisher getting his fifth ring, that was also, you know, it's just such a great, satisfying feeling. Um, so both of those were really great. It's hard to know. It's like people would always ask me, like, you know, what's your favorite Kobe moment? Like this whole career was my favorite Kobe moment, you know? Like, I mean, there were just so many games. He was a guy that no matter what, every night he showed up and gave everything he had. And I always respect that. Like I was talking about earlier with AD, you know, that kind of discipline, that kind of dedication. And as you know, everyone knows that's not just like, oh, I'm doing it for this moment. That's a life commitment. That's a mission. That's like who you are, you know, to do that every time. And so I really love that. But yeah, I don't know if I really have a favorite one. I mean, this year
That's
would be my
tough.
favorite one.
That's yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. The last one is the
yeah,
favorite. Like whatever the last one was would
yeah,
probably be most
yeah.
recent. But you played. Speaking of Kobe, you played the national anthem before his final game. What
Mhm.
memories of that night do you have?
Well, a couple of memories. The first one was that, you know, just playing was fun, and knowing it was Kobe's last game was really weird. Um, just because, you know, happy for him, but I had treasured, you know, every moment of his playing, and it was sad. But the kind of the awful thing was I had committed to doing a fundraiser that night. I can't remember for something, and I had to leave after halftime. So I
Mm.
missed. I was like the second half was when he went off and he got 50, right? So I only saw the first half of that game, and you know I had a charity work that I'd committed to. Um, but yeah, so
Damn
kind
it,
of
Flea!
embarrassing to say.
Charity, no. That's
Flea, while I have you, I want to ask you. I want to ask a music question. I saw on Twitter that you weren't happy that Chuck D was being left off the top list of best rappers of all time. You got to give me your
Oh yeah,
top 5 rappers of all time. Why have you?
my
Oof.
top five rappers. Damn. Well, right
sheesh.
now I really have to say, like the history of hip hop is pretty big, and I've been, you know, hip hop. I saw Egyptian Lover and Ice T in LA in like 81, 1980. Saw Africa Bambaataa and the Soul Sonic Force in New York around the same time, and I've been watching, you know, paying close attention. I say my favorite rappers. Well, the reason I'm saying that is because like I put Kendrick up there. Like he's just a master. It's a hard question. I put Chuck D up there. I put Rakim up there. Um, I put you have to put Snoop up there.
Uh-oh, that's
Um,
4.
you know, and this might sound crazy, but you know, damn, you know, KRS One, BDP. You know, I love BDP. That was
Michelle
it's
has heard
impossible
about
to say,
two of
though.
the names
Everyone's
you said.
different.
That's
you
not
know?
true. I've heard of all of those people. Thank you very much, Chandler. I just didn't know Westside Connect. Flea, I know we're up against it. Always appreciate the time. Could have you on for 7 hours. Good luck this season.
Thank you very much. It was really nice to see the three of you. And
You as well.
Okay, bye now.
Thanks, Flea.
Bye.